With many pondering the collective's next steps, BRICS has confirmed that new countries will join the alliance in 2024. Specifically, South African Ambassador Jeff Makituka confirmed to Russia's state-owned TASS publication that the bloc will expand membership in the coming year. This is Remax, your source for the geopolitical news that impacts your life. We break down the complex, we expose the hidden, we bring you the analysis you need. Get ready, get informed. Before we dive in, please hit the like and subscribe button on this channel.
The expansion plan would follow similar actions that took place in 2023. Specifically, the BRCIS alliance welcomed 5 new countries, while issuing 6 invitations at its annual summit. Ultimately, Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates UAE, Iran, Egypt, and Ethiopia became the first batch of countries to join the expanded alliance. BRICS confirms that expansion will take place in 2024. One of the most important geopolitical developments of the last year included the expansion of the BRICS alliance. Amid its ongoing de-dollarization efforts, the growth in numbers was crucial to its continued commitments. Yet, as 2024 unfolds, the world is anticipating further growth for the collective. Subsequently, in a recent excerpt from Russia's TASS publication, BRICS confirmed that new countries will join the alliance in 2024. Specifically, South Africa's Russian ambassador was asked about his stance on further expansion. In response, he stated that the question of BRICS expansion is not support or no support. It is already a given when discussing expansion. Mateka states that South Africa's role as BRICS chairman saw it spend 90% of our time on BRICS spearheading coordinated expansion. Moreover, he noted that the economic alliance required a framework for expansion to take place. Specifically, because expansion had not been a part of the alliance to that point. Therefore, South Africa asserts that its work establishing a framework should make further expansion much simpler. Additionally, he stated that the 5 incoming nations will be present for the October summit. They will also be full member of BRICS with full voting rights, making their voice a necessity in further expansion. It appears as though the alliance will follow a similar tactic that it took when approaching expansions in 2023. Specifically, they are likely to invite 6 nations that meet its criteria to join its ranks. Although the nations that qualify within that framework are yet unknown, there is certainly no shortage of interested countries to this point. The BRICS mechanism is lacking a vehicle currency like the one provided by the European Payments Union in 1950, where several currencies, weak ones as well as strong ones, were cleared. In the end, the D-mark emerged as the main vehicle currency after the dollar served in the interim. While the renminbi will be the main currency for trade, payments and settlements within BRICS, the role of a new prime holding currency offers fresh possibilities. Regarding trade, Saudi Arabia and the UAE will most likely trade with China in renminbi, independent of the denominator currency. This will significantly affect the global supply of renminbi and further internationalize the currency. The transactions will be recorded by SWIFT and foreign exchange reserves by the International Monetary Fund. Conducting trade in local currencies will strengthen the Saudi riyal and the UAE dirham within the BRICS bloc. Which currency will emerge as the BRICS vehicle currency in the short and medium term is still open. This currency will have to be strong and offer stable relations with the rest of the world, first and foremost the dollar, and be freely convertible. The renminbi has shown its limitations in playing this role due to depreciation and exchange rate volatility, in addition to Chinese restrictions on financial accounts and a highly managed offshore renminbi market. Among the new currencies, the only ones that meet these criteria are the Saudi riyal and the UAE dirham. Both currencies have full capital account convertibility for residents and foreigners and have been pegged to the dollar since the mid-1990s. While the Saudi government might have some qualms about internationalizing its currency, the UAE seems more market-friendly, open to trading in all the other BRICS currencies. As a market maker, it could fulfill the role of vehicle currency in the short term. The well-developed financial center in the UAE would offer BRICS partners cash deposits or dirham instruments, or freely convert BRICS currencies into dollars. Offshore renminbi holdings were never free of restrictions and exchange rate risk. This will satisfy the need for dollars, which have been denied to them by China. Buying dirham cash or instruments poses no risk as they can be freely converted into dollars at a fixed exchange rate. The UAE financial system would have to play the role of the EPU, accepting strong and weak currencies, such as rupees for remittances or renminbi for imports from China, and disposing of them or adding to their portfolio of reserves. These will be held by private financial institutions as well as the Central Bank of the United Arab Emirates. They would step in where political agreement has failed to provide a mechanism. The only open question at the moment is in which direction the pressures for appreciation of the dirham or the depreciation of weak currencies within BRICS will lead. The revaluation of the D-mark in the European case is worth studying. Following the conclusion of the 2023 BRICS meeting held in Johannesburg, South Africa, the official summit declaration announced that in January 2024, the BRICS group of emerging market economies would undertake, in the words of the Chinese president, an historic expansion and admit 5 new member countries: Egypt, Ethiopia, Iran, Saudi Arabia, and the United Arab Emirates. Argentina was also invited to join, but its new president Javier Milei declined the offer. While the term BRIC first came to fruition via the work of Jim O'Neill, in 2001 the official creation and formalization of the BRIC bloc by its 4 founding members Brazil, Russia, India, and China did not take place until 2009, followed by the admission of South Africa in 2010. As a group of high-growth emerging economies, even before its recent expansion, the group accounted for 26% of global GDP and 40.8% of the global population. However, as important as the BRICS countries are economically, by their own admission the BRICS grouping is more than an economic forum, in that they commit themselves to the creation of a more representative, fairer international order, a reinvigorated and reformed multilateral system. Exactly what representative, fairer, and reform translates as for the BRICS grouping is unclear, but it is often interpreted to mean that the BRICS will act as a counterweight or indeed a means to ultimately supersede Western dominance economically and politically. It is important, therefore, to reflect upon the recent expansion of the BRICS group and the implications and likely challenges for future global governance, economics, and geopolitics, given the BRICS grouping is likely to expand its membership further in the years ahead. From an economic perspective, the new membership will generate an additional $2.6 trillion in GDP terms, representing an overall BRICS economy of $28.5 trillion and 28.1% of global output. Yet, while a significant economic grouping, by comparison G7 countries continue to dominate global output, accounting for 43.2% of global GDP. However, if forecasts are correct, the size and therefore importance of the G7 economies will reduce over the coming decades, while many of the BRICS economies are projected to grow significantly. This is particularly the case in relation to new members such as Egypt and Ethiopia, who are projected to grow by 635% and 1,170% respectively in GDP terms by 2050. From a trading perspective, the expanded group accounts for more than 43% of global oil production, doubling its capacity and enhancing its geostrategic reach into the Middle East via the admission of Saudi Arabia, Iran, and the UAE. Further still, the expanded group now accounts for 25% of global exports, while the original 4 BRIC members account for and control 72.5% of global reserves of rare earth minerals, with China alone producing 85% of all globally refined earths in 2020. Critical for the production of a huge range of products from high-tech weaponry, but also everyday consumables including electric cars, circuit boards, semiconductors, and mobile phones, rare earths face huge demand. As part of the global supply chain for products that are consumed by the rapidly expanding global middle class, of which China, India, Brazil, and Egypt alone will account for 59% of all new middle classes in 2024. Ultimately, the newly enlarged BRICS grouping, which now accounts for 45% of the world's population, will continue to grow in economic and geostrategic importance, shifting the economic center of gravity towards the global south. However, the BRICS do not limit their ambitions to an economic agenda, but rather seek to leverage their collective economic weight to pursue a wider political ambition. Believing that the progress of emerging and developing countries are hindered by a Western-centric economic and political order, the BRICS have engaged in a number of actions to rebalance and counteract the existing global order alongside its institutions. BRICS entry holds promise for Egypt's economic advancement. Egyptian analyst Norhan El-Sheikh of the Valdai Discussion Club emphasizes the significance of Egypt joining BRICS, foreseeing positive impacts on various sectors, including investments, trade, and tourism. She believes Egypt's strategic location and position will contribute to shaping a fairer economic order within BRICS and beyond. I think we expect a lot from BRICS, and within BRICS we can do also, and we can introduce also a lot. Egypt is an African Arab Mediterranean country with a very strategic position and location, she said on the sidelines of the World Youth Festival in Sirius, Russia. While acknowledging that the de-dollarization of the Global South will require time, she underscores the importance of initiating change for a more equitable global financial system. That's your update. Did we miss anything? Did something make you think? Hit the comments, let's keep this conversation going. Like what you heard? Share this video, spread the word, and don't forget to subscribe to Remax, your geopolitical edge. Until next time.